Order, Bedford Township Board meeting, November 18th, 2025, 7 p.m. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could give a moment of silence and continue to stand for John Moore, who served 8 years on the park board, 8 years for the Bedford Board of Education, raised 12 kids in this community. So prayers are with the family. Good. Pastor Wright could approach. Thanks for coming this evening.
Let's pray. Lord, I do want to thank you for this night. Lord, I do want to thank you for the country in which we live in. And God, I pray for these officials, that God, that you give them great wisdom, give them great direction. I pray, Lord, your protection to be upon them. I pray that you protect them physically, emotionally, spiritually. And also pray that you would protect their families. So we turn this meeting over to you in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you. I need approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Support.
Any discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll, Ms. Hirschberger.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruni?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Stone?
Aye.
Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Ms. Berger votes aye. Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries. Number 3, Agenda Committee recommends to approve and place on file A, minutes from the October 21st, 2025 regular meeting of the Bedford Township Board. B, general savings, pooled funds, and CD reports from the treasurer for October 2025. C, balance sheet and revenue expense report for the period ending October 31st, 2025. D, accept with regret the resignation of Albert Peak from the Bedford Township Fire Department. E, approve the reappointment of Robert Potter to the Board of Zoning Appeals. 3F, approve the reappointment of Grant Andrews to the Planning Commission. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Support.
Any discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruni?
Aye.
Mr. Stone?
Aye.
Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Ms. Berger votes aye. Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries. 4, presentations. Troy, we are ready for you, sir.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Making a quick note. Well, good evening. Thank you, everybody. For those that don't know me, I'm Troy Goodenough. I'm your sheriff. I try to make it down here when I can to field any questions from the board. But you've got your packet of data related to calls for service and different perspectives from the sheriff's office for the month of October. I'll just highlight just a couple things if you don't mind. Traffic stops 118, property checks 64, breaking and enterings 5, larcenies 11, for a total of 787 calls for service, which resulted in 131 reports, 38 citations, and 24 arrests. You know, we always value our partnership with the township, and now the township and the school with our hybrid positions. We're still short one deputy in that area. I will tell you that today we're 23. We still have 23 vacancies in the sheriff's office from our road patrol division. We have 9 recruits in the field training program. When I say that 23 vacancies does not include those 9 because they're not solo patrol. And we have 2 in the academy that graduate in February. And we are prepared to send 8 to the academy in January. And we have 2 people in the hiring mix that have prior service. Working. That's our biggest headache at the sheriff's office is our staffing. That's what keeps me up at night. It's not anything. I mean, obviously, I always worry about officers getting hurt in different situations as far as officer safety. But the thing that's troubling is the staffing. And we're not. This is not unique to Monroe County. My colleagues across the state are facing the same problem. I have a colleague in Kalamazoo County that gives a $15,000 signing bonus and other benefits. And when I talked to him 3 weeks ago, he was 35 law enforcement positions vacant. So I will say that I think I'm optimistic. We're going to get better. I was thankful to the Board of Commissioners earlier this year that gave our employees what I would say is a nice contract from a payroll payment and benefit standpoint. But our biggest hurdle, we do exit interviews with everybody that leaves the sheriff's office. And the two components that we have is either they're getting out of law enforcement altogether and going in a different direction. And I'm sad to say that we had a recruit that we had in the academy. He had a 4-year degree in criminal justice. He went through the police academy, came to us, and at week 6, he said, law enforcement's not for me, and he bailed. Well, it's kind of a tough pill to swallow. A lot of money invested in him. Again, but I'd rather have that happen now than him spend his career. The Board of Commissioners did at their last meeting authorize the county to enter into an agreement with the unions to bring back defined benefit. And that was what we was hearing from our employees that were leaving, is I can go work for Department A or Department B, and I can get a defined benefit retirement plan, which Trustee Gore was grateful enough, and myself, to have when we worked there, to a defined contribution, which what they put in, and it was a moving target. And I'm grateful to the Board of Commissioners, and the union is very pleased with the package that they offered to them. We hope to get that executed before the end of the year, and it'll take effect January 1st. I can tell you that out of the people that leave, we've been told there's as many as 3 that want to return because of the defined benefit addition to it. So I'm optimistic that 26 is going to be a better year for staffing and allow us to do our job in an efficient manner. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Or I'm sorry, one other thing. I just want to highlight, we partnered with Bedford Township, the BVA, with putting flock cameras in the Secor Stearns Road. Frenchtown is aggressively putting cameras in at the tune of 12. Monroe Town's putting 4 in. And we just petitioned the county. We're seeking bids to put 20 additional cameras throughout the county. A significant number of them are proposed for Bedford. And I'll keep everybody up to speed when those come out. But I just want to share with you the statistic or some data related to the cameras at Secor and Stearns. And that is from October 19th to November 16th, 594,605 cars were captured on that. Keep in mind that data is held for 30 days and then purged from the system. But it just shows you the activity that's going through there. From May 2nd through November 17th, we captured 1,149 cars that were on a hot list, or had different flock hits, I should say. And 946 were on what we call the hot list, meaning they had some nexus to some activity that law enforcement was looking at them for. And 59 of them were sex offenders. 40 of them were Michigan stolen plates. 40 of them were stolen plates from other states. 26 of them were wanted persons. 21 of them, 10 of them were protection orders. 6 stolen vehicles, and 1 that had a gang terroristic identifier on his license plate. So, again, are they effective? I'm telling you, they are effective. We have solved, I asked our detectives, I said, give me a number of how many crimes you think we have solved with the flock cameras across the county. Easily hundreds, having these vehicles. And I'll give you a quick example. We had a car stolen in Frenchtown Township last night. The night before last. It would have been Sunday night into Monday morning. Lady gave the time frame of when the car was stolen. We right away searched flock. And at 5:05 yesterday morning, it hit on a camera in Dearborn. Redford police called us and said, your car was involved in 2 breaking and enterings up here in Redford. So we're going to hopefully have that car returned. We got an idea that it might be locally stolen, and then we're going to be able to link them back to that crime and anything else that they may have done here in Monroe County. So that's one single incident in the last 2 days that we utilized that camera for. So anyway, sorry to take your time. I just tried to share a little information with you, what we're doing as your sheriff's office, and we're dedicated to professional work.
Have
Are
any?
you able to share that data with us?
Sure.
In an email or something? After?
Sure. I'll scan it and send it to the supervisor if that's appropriate, and then he can push it out to you folks.
I'll get it out to you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Troy, we've known each other a long time, and the deputies do a great job, and I always stand behind the deputies. Sorry with the retention issues, but we seen this coming many years ago when they took the pensions away.
Sure.
When we went into negotiations, commissioners wouldn't listen. We knew this was going to happen. People were going to leave. And I know, and I know of several, and you know too, of several we had some very seasoned officers leave too to go to better places. I'm glad they finally saw the light of day. Maybe too late, because I know 23 people is a lot to hire, and
I think
especially with retirements and retention and back and forth, yeah.
You know, and I think the undersheriff said, and he's the one that keeps the data on all this, I think we lost 14 this year.
Yeah.
You know, and we've added a lot of positions. I don't want to, you know, when I took over as your sheriff, we had 54 deputy sheriffs. We're budgeted for 81 right now. So we've added a number of positions, right? But at the end of the day, yeah, it's a shame because we've lost a lot of good deputy sheriffs.
So what were the numbers when we started? We were in the 90s.
Yeah.
I was badge 91 when I first started in the 90s, and then we had the layoffs, and I don't even know where we recovered from those yet.
We've not, no.
Right. So it is. But the guys that we do have are doing a great job with them. They're doing a great job. Couldn't be more proud to have been a part of the sheriff's office.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions? Joe, you can always return. They got an opening.
They won't take me. Troy's like, I worked with him. I'm not taking him.
Yeah, I got Phil. We got two for you right here. So, great.
That would be comical, Phil. We'd have fun, though.
We'll put you in a car together. So, great. Thanks for coming.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Troy.
Next, we have public comment. Comments limited to 4 minutes for board agenda items only. Please state which agenda item you will be speaking on.
Lamar Frederick, you know where I live. I'm of the opinion that the minutes from the last meeting are a little incomplete. It didn't reflect the announcement of an agreement between the township and the Monroe County Business Alliance, to which, to my knowledge, had not been publicly announced before. There's some history. December 17, 2024, there was a request to terminate the agreement with the alliance, which was pulled from the agenda by request of the supervisor because you've been plunking down $10,000 a year for 2 years to get little in return, in my view. I assumed because he was pulling it, he was negotiating with the management for something probably better. Move forward, June 2025. Trustee Stump says, where are we with the alliance? I'd like to know where we are. There were no comments at that meeting. The last board meeting, Gail Keene came up and said, did anybody attend the Black Tie Alliance party? And if so, did we pay anything in terms of expenses to go? Since it was public comment, nobody responded. Then we go to members' time. And the supervisor blurted out, we're a member, we paid $500. So I said, I'd like to see that document. I have it right here, $500. Supervisor approved it in March 20th of 25. It was paid in April. You have been members for almost 8 months. I don't know if they told you or not, because this is the first time we heard about it. We've been somewhat following up on where is this. This document, in my view, Phil could give an opinion, has all the trappings of a contract. The the three elements. He can tell you what they are. I'm not. And if that is the case, Board Policy 2.10 says that all contracts entered into on behalf of the township must be authorized by the township board. You haven't seen it. You guys have not seen this document, to my knowledge. So you have been a member for quite some time. What value you got out of that is for you to determine. I've always questioned the validity of that organization and whether or not they bring any value to Bedford Township, but that's up to you. So this is another case, in my view, of do as I say, don't do as I do. Thank you.
Gail Kane Temperance. We'll go down in alphabetical order. 7C, the drain office doesn't have money, and projects are paid by assessing the properties along the drain to be cleaned. Since this request is out of the norm, it's legal, but out of the norm, is this to be expected in this case, and if not, why not? 7F, so contracting companies is how we now bid out jobs? We just contact them, pick who we want? The tree is a bur oak. Who was your arborist? Did they tell you if the tree has oak wilt disease? The diagnosis needs to be made as the DNR has protocol for reporting and care of the wood. You can't just dump this in mulch king. If it's confirmed, you can expect to remove sooner than later the other oaks in the park which already appear to be unhealthy. 7H, our fire department is a proven efficient training center. And now our ordinance department wants to have the honor of being known as the grazing pasture for police on Social Security. I feel the public deserves to know who was on the committee, why an employee is setting the wage of another. The need was cited to help with illegal burns. That season is almost over with. And our fire department, which is a 24-hour, 7-day per week, including the weekends and holidays, is charged with that task. In light of the above, this request needs to be denied until the township sets a wage scale and considers hiring a younger individual who can be trained and take this department into the future. We do not have to have cops. We already have a great group of those under contract. Since the department doesn't function under a buddy system and is complaint-oriented, it may behoove the township to consider making this department an on-call as-needed operation. In fact, that sounds really good. 7I, once again, the employees want extra time off. The full-time elected are salaried and not mandated to be in attendance at all times, but surely would feel guilty to take the time unless employees get the same. I get it. But how many total days have been granted since the schedule was approved last December? Wasn't comment made at that time to make sure these were covered? Given the numbers, I think the employees have shown and proven that you should look at this as an opportunity to study and consider going on a part-time status. The days and hours would fluctuate and services would be scheduled, avoiding that dreaded waiting for somebody to come in. Paying bills would all be done through the drive-through. Everyone would benefit. There would be financial savings and having that extra much wanted time off granted. Thank you.
Any further comments from the public? Seeing none, we will proceed. 7A, vouchers for payments. This will be an A and a B.
I'd like to make a motion that the following vouchers for November 5th, 2025 be approved for payment. General Fund, $42,310.33. Fire, $11,046.65. Fire equipment, $9,250.83. Downtown Development Authority, $628.49. Library Fund, $14,949.54. Capital Asset Revolving Fund, $58,431.45. Building Department, $2,791.37. Sewer O&M, $4,088.78, for a grand total of $143,497.44.
Support.
See, we have a motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll, Ms. Hirschberger.
Chair votes aye. Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries. 7B, vouchers for payment.
I'd like to make a motion that the following vouchers for 11/19/2025 be approved for payment. General Fund, $324,998.96. Fire Fund, $27,534.03. Fire Equipment, $2,148.80. Downtown Development Authority, $423.11. Library, $3,941.42. Road Capital Improvement, $298,682.59. Capital Asset Revolving, $332.43. Building Department, $4,379.86. Sewer O&M, $426,229.59. Trust and Agency, $1,096.61, for a grand total of $1,089,767.40.
Support.
See the motion. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll, Ms. Hirschberger.
Hirschberger votes aye. Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries. 7C, approve the Bragdon Run Drain Maintenance Resolution. Jim?
Good evening. Tim Zergel of Lambertville, Michigan. I'm the Deputy Drain Commissioner representing the Office of the Monroe County Drain Commissioner, requesting that the township approve a resolution to do maintenance in excess of the maintenance money that we can spend by state law. The drain code does allow the township to exceed that amount, do maintenance on a drain. The drain has been petitioned and could go through a full petition process, but we can save the residents the money of engineering, bonding, and such by just doing maintenance on the drain at this point. The lower couple miles of the drain have been done in previous years because the sanitary sewer runs adjacent to the drain, and to protect the sanitary sewer, we did the work previously. At this point, the residents on the upper end have petitioned the remaining part of the drain to be cleaned, which was done in the early 90s. So that's been over 30 years. It's probably due with the sandy soils and tree growth and log jams that occur. And this would be a way to save the residents money without going through full engineering and other cost.
What is Bragdon Drain? Like roughly? I don't need.
It's
roughly
a ditch. It's
from where to where? Like geographically, where would it be located?
Where we would be starting to clean out would be on Jackman Road, just north of Smith Road, by the old Midas Muffler Farm there, the 30-some acres. It crosses the road, and then crosses Stearns Road, runs up through Monterey Estates, and over through some subdivisions over to Douglas Road.
Crosses over Stearns,
eventually
and
to
then
Temperance Road up to Waterfront.
Okay. And then what is the maintenance?
The maintenance is just like what we'd be doing during a petition project. We're going to cut the trees out of the V of the ditch, clear cut on one side, reshape the ditch, clean the culverts, get the water flowing, plant grass, and hopefully get about another 30 years out of it.
And that's 5 miles worth?
Oh, it's actually less than that, but the total drain is 5 miles long.
What is the breakdown of, like, what? It's a high ticket. So what is the breakdown of the expenses of? Is that labor? Is that equipment? What?
Most of all that cost is to the contractor.
Okay.
With any drain, there is a small portion of any project that goes to pay for staff at the drain office.
Okay.
Clerical pay the bills, etc. Send out notices. We'll notify every property owner by mail that we're going to be using the right-of-way. It'll be done in sections. So as between major roads, we'll send out a notice that we're going to use the right-of-way. If they have any questions, actually my number's on there. They can call and ask questions, and we'll deal with them appropriately.
Roughly how long, like, I know you got it broken up into sections, but the entirety of the project how long would it take?
Oh, the time-wise?
Yeah.
We've asked that the project be done for fall of next year, of
Okay.
26. We could be in there cutting brush yet this winter.
Okay.
Did you come up with this one because of the petition, or is it one of the worst drains that need to be addressed in the township, or are there others?
Well,
How did we get to this one?
Well, we do a lot of work by petition because we know that then there's interest amongst the residents that they need the work done. We're choosing some of these to do under maintenance, just to happen to be one in your township because we've been doing catch-up since the pandemic. Because the governor had said we couldn't have public hearings and do a lot of things, we lost a big time frame, but petitions continue to come in. We're still playing catch-up. This petition, I think, is from 22, and we're just trying to move forward. We also have another large drain coming. It's been petitioned shortly after this one, called Indian Creek, and that will be an extremely large project. We cleaned that roughly 30-plus years ago, and it was very challenging because so many of the homes are built right up next to the drain.
So does this drain fund have insufficient funds in it because it says in our resolution?
Well, every
that
drain
if
fund
there
has insufficient funds because under Act 40 of 1956, all drainage is by special assessment. So the township will pay for general health and welfare, a portion of the cost. That's usually around 10%. And then the road commission will pay for any road right-of-way based on how many acres of right-of-way within the drainage district, and the rest go to the residents. So every drain is a little different because they each have different amount of acres for the amount of work to be done, but basically it boils down to $1 per acre cost.
Judy, you had a question?
You know approximately how many people are included and how long will they have to pay for this?
I don't know the exact number. It's over 1,000 parcels. Typically, we try to break these over a couple of years. That's what we did with the previous maintenances.
Okay.
With the petition project, we're seeing now that we're financing them for a minimum of 5 up to 20 years because the cost is so large.
Where's this money coming from on the township side of it, the general fund?
Yeah, we have money in the budget that is put away for drainage, so.
So this is in our capital improvement plan. Is that something maybe we need to work towards in our capital improvement plan if it's every 30 years and it's going to be large amounts, or is it not worth putting in the capital improvement plan? Because I don't think it is in our.
It can't be in the capital improvement because it doesn't qualify for capital improvement, but it could go into like the revolving fund, not the capital improvement. It doesn't qualify.
The hard part is, how many drains do we have in Bedford? Jim?
I don't know that number either. We have close to 1,000 countywide. We
Right.
probably have, if you count all the subdivision drains, we probably have close to 100.
Every year at the end of tax time, when I pay out to the county, not only do I pay out what the residents pay, I also send what our portion that is due every year as well to the county. So it's not like this is a one-time amount that we pay. We pay for all the drains that are assessed each year. We pay a portion of that as well.
In the state of Michigan, there are no dedicated funds for drainage. Most of the laws are from the 1800s. We currently run over Act 40 of 1956 as amended, which is the last big amendment, and it's always been paid for by special assessment.
So this is a special assessment?
It will be for the drainage district.
So what are we talking about it coming out of the budget?
Because we'll have a portion of it.
Okay.
Our portion, 10% of this.
And then are there hearings about that for the special assessment?
That would be on the Drain Commission.
We would, if we have a fairly recent roll that's up to date, but if we sometimes we have to have what's called a day of review, where we publish it, put it on the website, and then one given day from 9 to 5, you can come to the office, you can look at the maps, look at all the information. But any resident can always make an appointment to come to the office, look at all the information for whatever drain they're on or any drain. This is a pretty regular routine thing that we do all the time with, throughout the county. We assess roughly about $2.7 million per year in drain projects for storm drainage.
What would the motion be? Just to approve the resolution?
Are you going to read the resolution into?
The motion would be that you approve the Monroe County Road Commission, Drain Commissioner's resolution for the cleanup of Bragdon Run Drain.
Will we have our portion in there?
Presented, no.
Okay.
No, because
We're going to percentage.
Trudy, that sounded like a motion. That put you on the spot.
Sure. I'll make a motion to approve the Monroe County Drain Commissioner's resolution for the cleanout of Bragdon Run Drain as presented.
Support.
Any further discussion? Craig?
What is the? I want to make sure I understand this. What percentage do we pay of this?
10.
So we pay
10%.
10% of this.
I think your
and this is
estimate was.
This is in our budget.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think you said it was like 75,000,
Well, 10% of
Approximately.
500 some thousand, would be around 50,000,
50.
round numbers.
Any other discussion?
It has to get done.
Okay. Yeah, third. Don't have much choice. Seeing none, please take the roll, Ms. Hirschberger.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Ms. Janasek?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming,
Thank you
Tim.
for being here, Tim.
7D, approve the 2025 streetlight assessment resolution. You want to take that?
This is the special assessment streetlights. This is not the streetlights at large. These are the ones we assess the different subdivisions. If there's no questions, I'll make the motion. I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2025 streetlight assessment resolution as presented.
Support.
Any discussion? Questions? We do it every year. If there is none, did Craig, you have a question?
I do. I don't know if it's the time or place. I was going to ask how this is Fordway on this, and what is the?
So the gas lights are on the very last.
Here we go. Okay.
Second to last.
They're still on.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Because
they're still on until they shut them
we
off.
base their amounts off the previous year's totals.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. See no further discussion. Please take the roll, Ms. Hirschberger.
Hirschberger votes aye. Ms. Jandasek?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries. 7E, approved TriCaster replacement.
So attached is the quote from MDIS, which is the Metro Detroit Integrated Systems. They are the company that we were referred to by our IT company. They're local. They're out of Detroit, as local as I can get. I found a couple other bids out of California and I think the other one was New York. But this company is local. They can come in, they can install it. There's a warranty, there's a service contract, all included in the total amount. Our IT company, when they went around and upgraded all our computers, they said the TriCaster is only at Windows 7. It cannot be upgraded, which is a huge security issue. So the new TriCaster would be Windows 11. It would have, it would be all new. And remember, this was a used TriCaster that we bought to begin with. We purchased it from Compel when they upgraded all their systems. So it wasn't a new one to begin with.
So this technology will be good for about 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's about it.
So the total price with everything would be $14,679.54. That includes the installation. And we do have this money in our capital asset revolving fund 447 already. Actually, we have $20,000 set aside because we weren't sure how much it was going to cost when we needed it.
Are we doing anything with, is there anything to do with the old?
Not really. I don't know if any church or something who just wanted to try, because it's, as far as security, it's outdated. It's a Windows 7. It's not much. I mean, it works, but security-wise, it would not be secure for anyone to take.
I was just curious.
If there's no other questions, I'll make a motion to approve the quote from MDIS in the amount of $14,679.54 to come out of account number 447-000-970.0015 for the new TriCaster.
Support.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll, Ms. Hirschberger.
Hirschberger votes aye. Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries. 7F, that's removal and disposal of a hazardous tree at Carr Park. We tried to trim this tree up. It didn't go real well in terms of the rot was so bad when we started getting up into the tree. So we were told to just take the tree down. And it's right by the pickleball court. So if it does come down, it'll probably do some damage to the fence, probably maybe do some damage to the pickleball court and so on. In terms, we were getting quotes all over the board from $4,500 to $9,000. Then we did get a quote from Timberjacks, and that was for like $2,250, which I thought was a pretty good price to get it taken care of. The problem that we have in some of these parks is that we do have some older rotted trees. This is probably going to happen again in terms of some of the parks. So that's where we're at. I thought it was a pretty good price. It needs to come out. And if you go over there, you'll see the rot.
Can you speak about why we wouldn't have 3 sealed bids for a job like this?
You don't need to have a sealed bid because it's under $5,000. That's why.
As long as
that's
it's
why we
under
kept
5.
trying to get under 20. I'm sorry.
20.
So that's why we were making phone calls, and we didn't like the price. And it was like $9,000 and $4,500 was kind of like, okay. So then when we sent out the email that we got this other one, so that's why we did it.
So when did the bid from Timberjack come in?
Chase, I believe we got that. Was it?
These are just quotes, by the way, they're not bids.
Yeah.
Quotes. Okay.
So it's not affected by like once
No.
other bids were in that you received after.
Trying to get as many quotes as
Okay.
All right. There was no deadline to get these quotes in?
No, we just kept calling in to what we could get. I think it came in, was it late Friday or was it Monday? Because we were also verifying his
It was
workman's comp
Monday.
and
So-
general liability insurance.
So the quote is 2,200,
2250.
2,250. That's the quote. And they get in there, and there's a bunch of other stuff that needs to be done that runs us up over $5,000. Are we going to go back out for sealed bids, or
She said 20.
Oh, no, I'd hold him to 2250.
2,250?
He's going to do the job for 2250.
Okay.
You know, coming back.
And where's this company out of?
They're out of Toledo.
Toledo.
He's done work up in Bedford. And we've called, like, we did call our Bedford-based ones. And one was like $9,000. Then I didn't hear back from Rose.
Just make sure whoever we select is
Licensed and bonded.
insured.
Yeah, we did. We verified that.
And this job is, I assume this job is beyond the scope of the ability of our maintenance department. I don't want to have a problem with stepping on their feet.
No, they couldn't take down this size of tree.
Okay.
It's a pretty good sized tree.
Okay, that was my assumption. I just wanted to make sure.
And we tried to save the tree. That's why we tried to trim it until they started getting in there, and that's when it was like, this thing is bad.
To Ms. Keene's point, was there anything about that, about the wood or the type of tree from the arborist?
We were never informed to any special handling of taking the wood out. If we were told that, we would have included that.
Not our problem. They're removing it, right?
Exactly. Any other questions?
They're taking all the wood and everything?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're not messing with it. Any other questions, thoughts, comments? I know we kind of hate to, on some of these where we get like a late quote or whatever, but it was a significant amount in terms of the savings, so. Somebody wants to make a motion? Or?
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the removal of and disposal of the hazard tree at Carr Park, utilizing timber jacks out of Toledo. The quoted amount of $2,250 would come from account number 101-265-933- Maintenance Parks and Grounds.
Support.
Have a second? Any further discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll, Ms. Hirschberger.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Ms. Janasek?
Aye.
Sugar votes aye. Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries.
Just tell them not to drop anything on that new court.
Yeah. It'll be well protected. Yeah. That will do. Okay, we've got 7G, approve the fire panel repair at the library. Chase? Harry, if you'd like to join, Chase, feel free.
Good.
You're good? Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah. This was, just before Chase goes, we did a lot of homework on this, and this was another one again where we got some information today. That's why we included the email where the company sent an email like, hey, we've got this other panel that's going to come out. So I'll let Chase take it from here.
So going back a little bit, the Annunciator fire panel had started to malfunction over the summer and basically just beep on its own. And so we'd go in, have APC, the company who installed it, come out, service it. But this was original installed equipment to the library from when it was built. So this is not an upgraded anything in any way. So it's all old equipment. So they came out, they reset it. It worked for a couple of months, and then it started beeping again. And so at that time, they walked me through the procedures for how to reset it and reset the whole fire panel, and it stopped. It wasn't working. So at that time, they said, hey, well, we got to quote this for you. So I said, okay, let's get a quote. And they didn't get anything to me for a little while. And so I started calling other companies to get a quote from them. And in doing this, I found out that you can only call a company that services this brand, because otherwise you have to replace every single horn, strobe, fire pole, everything. Because we called our servicer for like our other buildings, so Habitat, and I called Transtar Electric, and they said that in order for them to service it we would have to switch over to their brand, which would require replacing every single piece of fire equipment in the building. So in this case, being the library. So that was prohibitively expensive. So finding that out, then I was able to locate two companies, one being our current supplier, the second being Summit Fire and Security, and was able to obtain a bid from them, so which is included. So Summit said there's a possibility of them upgrading just the annunciator. They would have to push an update to the fire panel with a technician, and he would have to come out of Lansing, and they would have to do a new annunciator with this. So he described that as kind of a Band-Aid because he believed it would work, but he didn't believe that it was totally the right solution. So in going through this, he also explained to me that if we switch to another company who isn't our current servicer, they would have to redraw all of their plans for the entire fire system, wiring, electrical, everything. They would have to redraw all of that. And so that's why he knew almost instantly that their price would be more than our current supplier. But he did submit that bid, but he warned me about that beforehand. So he said, and it's in his email there, that it would be, they'd have to have all these hours to redraw the entire system. Even though we have a copy of the plans, they'd still wanted to redraw it all. So going through that, we got a price from them for doing that for approximately $2,200. There could be more fees associated with that when they get into the system. That does not include going through and finishing around the new annunciator if they have to pull the whole thing out, and they're almost certainly not going to be the same size. So there would be work to do there on that, which might be the case with the new one, but they think they can fit it in the current box. So that's what we have from Summit. We had a quote from them coming in for a total of $11,595. So then Asset Protection's original quote had come in, and their original quote came in for $7,250. So that was the fire panel and the annunciator that had started to go bad and was now pretty much not working. So that's what we have for that. So Summit mentioned to me, hey, there might be a new panel coming out. So I had asked Asset Protection to quote the new panel that's coming out, and that was the one that we just received today, which is the Edge fire alarm panel at a cost of $8,300. So the reason I asked them to do that was because they're going to be phasing out the previous panel they quoted. They don't have an exact timeline, but it is not the new model. So they're going to be phasing out the model they have now and bringing the new one in. So why I looked at this like that was I thought, can we spend a little bit more money now to get something that in 10 years we won't have this same problem where we can't get parts to repair it, or 15 years? So that was why I also asked him to quote that one.
So, Craig, you were correct with the Dreamcatcher. It was going to be outdated in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. This one for $7,250 was outdated before we can even vote on it.
Right.
That's kind of what I found out.
That's what I'm looking at.
That's kind of what I found out, and I'm surprised they even quoted that.
Outdated.
Yeah, but they said they initially said they didn't want to quote it because it was going to be more money, and so I had to ask about this.
And the hard part is we don't have tons of these companies around that do this type of work or offer this product. It's kind of like the sprinkler system.
Because Edwards is the brand that installed it with all the fire alarm systems, we have to use an Edwards system because their stuff is backwards compatible versus going with another brand like Siemens where they'd have to replace everything.
Are you wanting to go with the upgrade with cellular communicator too, or no?
So our cellular communications, we do that through Habitek separately. So we have the panel there, and then we have another panel for the monitoring, and Habitek does our monitoring. They said there's a chance we might have to upgrade to a dual system, but as of yet, we haven't talked to Habitek about that.
I'm sure there's 100% chance that that's going to happen.
Yeah, so that's why we kind of wanted to wait on that, Joe, just till we see. But I mean, if we wanted to approve a dollar amount, we could do that for the monitoring up to, or, but we'll know by we should know by next meeting, don't you think, Chase?
Yeah. So I had to go through and kind of learn a lot of this stuff to piece all this together. And
It sounds like there's a lot of what if money coming up. Or
so in regards to the communications side,
yeah.
so it would probably be a very similar price to what they have here. So basically it would be, another cellular communications device and then another monthly reoccurring fee.
So what are we looking at, Al, for an up to not to exceed price, you think?
I would say I would not pay more than when we're taking a look at some of the other habitat that we're paying, I wouldn't, not to exceed like $80 a month. I wouldn't think. For the monthly cost.
Do this on its own.
Right. I guess we're wanting to go with the, asset protection for the 8300?
Yes.
Right.
That is the most current, modern system, the brand new one.
Till our next meeting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody else?
Any other questions or?
No, go ahead.
Make a motion that we accept the asset protection proposal for the fire alarm system upgrade for a fire alarm control unit upgrade only for $8,300. I'm open to any friendly amendments.
What funds are coming from?
Are we coming from?
Listed on the memo, the 271000.
Library fund.
The library fund?
930, yep.
Okay.
I'll support it.
Any further discussion?
I did.
Who supported?
I support it.
Okay.
I did notice, because I know that it's been asked before, there is a 1-year parts and labor warranty on the new equipment. So it's on there as well.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll, Ms. Hirschberger.
Before I take this, are we asking for the library fund to be added to the motion?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries.
Chase.
Next that we have is 7H, approve the hiring of a part-time ordinance officer. In terms of this, it's because our 2 other officers were going down to 20 hours apiece. I will make no bones about it. I will recruit ex-police officers all day long to be in ordinance. Reason being, they're well-trained in conflict resolution. They can handle a lot of different situations. The applicant that we had, we put this out there, was interviewed by myself, Trudy, Krista, Damon. He's a local Bedford resident. He's coming off of, I believe it was Swanton's Police Department. And I just find in our ordinance department, ex-officers do extremely well. So in terms of what we did is like we've done with other ordinance officers, we start them out at a little bit lower pay, see how they work out. If things look good, then we always can bump that pay. The ordinance department, in terms of what we're doing, it's not that easy to always go out and find somebody that wants to do this work or has been trained to do this work. We do not have a formal training program for ordinance officers, nor do we send them somewhere. So when we do get an officer in, they're already trained basically to handle these situations that will occur. And they do not ride together except when they go to pick up signs, one will be driving while the other one's jumping out of the car and throwing the signs in the back. So Judy, Krista, have any thoughts or comments? I thought it was a very good interview in terms of the applicant.
No, we interviewed several
Yeah, we did.
different candidates. This is the only one that did have the official training as an officer. But there were a few good candidates that we interviewed. But again, this person's going to be working weekends, they're going to be by themselves, and conflict resolution, we just thought he would be very good at.
By the other two ordinance officers going down to 20 hours, this not really increasing our budget.
No, not at all. That's what's nice about it, and he doesn't mind working some weekends. So, and like I said, we had some other good applicants, but him just retiring off the force, it's like he's ready to go. Any other questions?
I will make a motion to approve the hiring of a part-time ordinance officer, Rick Martin, starting out at $19 an hour and an evaluation at 6 months.
Support.
So supported. Any further discussion?
Friendly amendment.
Yes.
After the 6 months, move full hourly pay to $20 an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Joe seconded?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll, Ms. Hirschberger.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries. 7I, approve the closure of Township Hall on Friday, December 26th and Friday, January 2nd. This does not happen every year that we do this. It just so happens how the holidays fall. We have done this in the past. People use their own time, so we're not paying them extra. And unfortunately, we don't get a lot of people coming in on these days. So that's where we're at with it. All right. People can spend more time with their families for the holidays. Personally, I'm all for it. Questions?
Yeah, I agree. People need to spend time with their families, but I also understand that this is a government building. It's a government office, and there are people that are probably off, and they have to wait till certain times to come in and do whatever government business. And I've struggled with this one in the past. I wish we could, at the beginning of the year, or when we create our calendar, we look at all this so we can make it one swoop at the beginning of the year and move forward with that. I mean, I know myself, Phil, Troy, and there's a lot of people out there that work, you know, nurses and doctors and stuff like that. We've worked the holidays. We've worked the day after holidays. We've been there, and we've had to do that, and it's just part of the job. So I agree that people need to spend time with their families, but I'm seeing the other side that this is a government building. We do have to run, and people need to have access to that building when they need to. So.
And we can look next year. I think, Trudy, I don't know if this is going to happen next year. Is it with the calendar? Yeah.
I mean, we need to look at all the holidays and stuff like that and take a look at that moving forward.
What are the office hours on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve? Closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even if you get something in the CBA moving forward, you know, if the day after falls on a Friday, we can take that day off. I don't even know if that's something that can be worked out, you know.
We can look at our policy.
The bargaining groups and stuff, so, but, yeah. Okay. It's just my 2 cents.
I know the Teamsters follow whatever the township office does, so
okay.
That's how they wrote it in theirs.
Okay.
Any other questions, thoughts, comments? I'll need a motion if we're going to do this.
I'll make a motion that we close Township Hall December 26th and Friday, January 2nd, with all employees using their personal time.
Support.
We have support, Krista?
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll. Ms. Hirschberger?
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Employees, thank you for that. Next, we have public comment. Comments limited to 2 minutes for each individual.
Lamar Frederick, I haven't moved since I was here before. I'm going to bring this up. I brought it up on several occasions in the prior administration, and that is you folks need to have some mechanism. You call it unfinished business, where stuff gets delayed and never seen again. At the Mental Health Authority, we call it the parking lot. An unfinished business, under Robert's rules, say that it comes up the next meeting, you have to do something with it or it goes away. We have a parking lot that serves two purposes. One, reminds the members of the committee what's still outstanding and hasn't been worked on, and it's coming up. Number two, it tells the board what this committee or the board is looking at. Three, it tells the public what is still outstanding that you haven't done anything with. For example, tonight I brought up the fact that 8 months ago, Township became a member of the Business Alliance. That didn't need to be that long. In December, you took it off the board. Should have left it in some form that is going to come up again. Mr. Stump brings it up 6 months later. Nothing. I've asked several times for you people to consider a wage scale for other than those employees who are covered by the Compensation Commission. I heard a supervisor say, well, we'll look into it. I haven't heard a word since. So I don't know if you even care, but at least you can bring it up, it's there, and you can say, we aren't going to do a damn thing with it. Take it off of there. At least the public knows where you are. And that's your job, to tell the public what you're doing and what you are not doing. Thank you.
Gail Kane, Temperance. Well, regarding the Business Alliance, you guys were denied a vote, and that means I don't get a voice, and that's wrong. I've petitioned 3 times now for a drain, and I've always had to pay. And if you, Ms. Jandisek could have pointed out, look at your tax bills. Every year you're assessed, whether you're a direct or an indirect. There's a whole method of madness to that. So I don't understand why the township didn't help support my petitions. And maybe I can bring my bill in and they'll pay for my assessments this year that are on my tax bill. And the other thing, last year they took time off as well. If you remember, they had to have department parties. So now what will happen, if it hits a Saturday, do they automatically get the Monday off? I don't know. The handbook for the employees and their rules are not online. You have to file a FOIA if you want to know exactly what the rules and the way of the game. So I just don't think that's right. I'm not against it. And I'm going to check with Timberjack. I want to see where he's going to take that wood. Maybe I need to call the DNR. I don't know. It's a concern. Our environmental impacts around here, we have to be concerned. So that wood should not cross the state line because that's a law. So it's interesting to hear this stuff, and it really concerns me that we don't care because we should care. We really have to care if we're going to keep our world safe for the world for tomorrow. Our kids, our grandkids. Thanks. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
I want to talk about the 8
flashing stop signs on Clover Lane and Smith. I didn't say anything at the meeting because I wasn't sure where Clover Lane crossed Smith. I've been through there. Now I know, because I'm going to tell you, curiosity got the best of me. So October 24th at 4:35 p.m., I took a ride. I'm going west on Smith. I'm quite a ways away from the intersection, but I could see the intersection good. 5 cars going south rolled right through that stop sign. One right behind the other, 5 of them, because there was nobody else at the other 3 streets. I like the flashing stop signs. Like Joe said, the one on Douglas, coming in on 151. They are nice. And I think 4 would have been sufficient, because there's 4 stop signs there now. I'm positive 9 out of 10 don't even look left until they get to the intersection to see if somebody's coming. So if you had 4 there, you've also got the flashing light. You could put 2 at Secor and Conceer, because when they made that a 4-way stop, within 2 weeks, there was 2 accidents. One van was a rollover. I think he was in the first accident. You could use 2 at Summerfield and Monroe Road. I go across Monroe and Summerfield probably 4 days out of 7. And every day somebody's rolling east right through that stop sign, somebody's rolling west.
Thanks for your comments.
Thank you.
Justin McCullough, Temperance. First, I want to thank you guys for listening to at least me. You guys removed the personal identifying information from public comments, but I guess I would characterize it as an overcorrection. Going back in the minutes, there are now 0 public comments mentioned, at least from this year. They're just gone. So I'm not sure if it's just a transcription issue or if it's, I don't know what it's, but for future agenda minutes, or meeting minutes, there are a couple of municipalities throughout Michigan that are using AI software to transcribe their meetings, so there's no human element to that. There's a couple of apps or sources, Wordly, and I believe the other one is Clerk Minutes. Those can be used for public comment transcription. And then lastly, we had an election, or at least a ballot initiative, on November 4th. The millage did not pass. But I noticed that on the township website there is no record of the final vote tallies or any really mention of the election at all. So I'm not sure if the votes are still being tallied, but I figured since this is the first meeting since that ballot initiative, it would have been on the agenda, but apparently it wasn't. So just curious about what the final totals were. Thank you.
Good evening, Cynthia Vincent, Temperance. In regard to Justin, it was certified today. I was there. Sounds like there's a lot of rule indiscrepancies here. I wish to address Mr. Bruning's continued pattern of offensive and bigoted social media posts. And as a representative of this community, you have a responsibility to set a moral and constructive example for our young people. And instead, your recent comments, such as demeaning a former female student's relationship with a coach, came across less like the conduct of an elected official and more like the behavior of a scorned adolescent engaged in a schoolyard argument. Your post regarding Muslims and STIs further demonstrate a troubling disregard for the diverse community that you serve. One would expect an elected official to advocate for healthy boundaries and to help protect young people from the adults that are entrusted with their care. We didn't seem to have these kind of issues when Pearl Albert, Mr. Frederick, Walt Wilburn all sat in that chair. So just for context, in 2020, the Monroe County Health Department reported 1,100 cases of chlamydia among 15 and 19-year-olds, male and female. The city of Monroe ranked third out of 5 Michigan cities with a population less than 60,000, and birth rates for that same age group. Since then, the schools have worked diligently to educate the students, and statistics have improved. The kids are listening. So to be clear, schools continue to have the discretion in what is taught, and parents continue to have the right to opt out. Regarding the October 7th and 21st Township Board meetings, there was extensive discussion. Thank you.
Karen Temperance. I emailed concerns about this board violating the Michigan Campaign Finance Act when members expressly advocated for votes against the college renewal. Included was an article from MTA detailing that it is not lawful for members to say vote no at meetings to defeat a ballot issue. This board repeatedly did so, violating the strict neutrality required. Using public resources, everything here, and the meeting time itself, to influence votes in favor of your personal political agenda undermines our democracy and fair elections. Misusing your position and our resources in an attempt to sway votes violates the board's integrity and is a conflict of interest. You have a duty of loyalty to the community as a whole. The law requires that you utilize public resources impartially, so all candidates and ballot initiatives have equal opportunity without members engineering an unfair advantage. Previous minutes summarized member comments telling us to vote no as personal opinion, even when not stipulated as such in real time. Regardless of being retroactively labeled as personal opinion, these instructions to vote no are still violations. They cannot be made in your capacity about election matters on the public dime. It's even more important given the board's habit of censoring and suppressing views contrary to their own. I wish I could agree with Mr. Stump's public pronouncement congratulating himself and this board as having one of the most open, least restrictive public comment policies in Michigan on a board where transparency and accountability matter. That hasn't been my experience here. The board needs to change course and abide by campaign finance law. Bedford residents like to think for themselves. They want our tax dollars fairly used without election engineering. Thank you.
Thank you, Ned Berkey, Douglas Road, Ida. Last time I was here was about 4 years ago. Talked to some of you that were on the board at that time about solar. Went around talking to all the townships about industrial solar, and every township supervisor got a copy of a report issued by Michigan State and the University of Michigan on some of the pros and cons. Tonight I want to just mention in my role with MSU, I've never had much dealings with the community college until about 10 years ago when MSU started the Institute of Ag Technology program at Monroe County Community College. Randy Schauerman from MSU and I, we met with Kojo Cordy, Paul Noman, Sue Wetzel, and we started that program. So that was 10 years ago. It was a year ago last August that Josh Myers took me down to the Whitman Center. That was the first time I've ever been to Whitman Center. And I consider that a real diamond in the rough. And so I agreed to help the community college repurpose Whitman Center, at least with my background in agriculture and natural resources. So it's been a challenge this fall to try to get to know the bureaucracy and how everything works there. But I am pleased that for the next semester, I've got a one-page handout I'd like to pass out to everyone that gives some of the classes
that I'll be offering down there. In my 45 years with the University of Illinois and Michigan State, it's all been with informal adult education, except when I do get hired to actually teach a class, which I have done several times. So on one side of this handout shows some one-day classes that we'll be offering down there through the informal program, non-credit. The back side, I'm particularly pleased, is a March 21st.
I'm sorry, time.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening. Pamela Hess, Temperance. I am here to also speak on Todd Brunning's racist comments on Facebook. I am a concerned citizen of Bedford, and these racist comments definitely violate, are in direct violation of Bedford Township's Board Policies Manual, specifically Section 3.37. I won't reiterate what's already been said, but I cannot tolerate this racism that comes from Mr. Brunning's online activity. From the Facebook comments Mr. Brunning has posted in the last month alone, I've counted 17 violations of the township's own board and administrative policies manual, and I have copies if anybody would like to reference those. Mr. Brunning does not represent me, nor does he represent the good, kind-hearted people of this town who do not share his racist viewpoints. He does not demonstrate dignity or respect for constituents when he posts these opinions online. He is no community role model and is disrespectful of his fellow role models' time, disrespectful of his fellow board members' time when he makes these offensive posts. Members of the community who see these posts will naturally want to speak out about the gross memes and comments Mr. Brunning makes and will attend township board meetings to address those comments. Therefore, he's wasting your time and he's wasting mine. He's choosing to be self-serving, which does not serve our community for the greater good. These continuous instances of Mr. Brunning's Facebook comments are becoming a pattern of indecent behavior, and the lack of acknowledgement or punishment from the rest of the board is severely damaging the town's trust in this board, I'm sorry to say. To be a sitting member of an elected board making racist posts online is just simply wrong. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Jacqueline Arvanitis, Temperance. I'm using my time tonight to call attention to the disgusting posts Mr. Brunning continues to make on his publicly viewable Facebook page. Mr. Bruning's views are no secret in Bedford. They're plastered all over his business, broadcast on Facebook, and repeated in public. I'm here to call out these views because they are not jokes, they are not memes, they are blatantly racist and morally bankrupt. It makes me sick to repeat what he has publicly shared, but the community needs to hear it. With some people in the media currently splitting hairs about whether sexual activity with minors technically qualifies as pedophilia or not, I want to remind this board to what Mr. Brunning said of a local victim of criminal sexual conduct. Quote, "She is just looking for a payout. She banged him multiple times in both Michigan and Ohio. It was all consensual." End quote. The offender was a 38-year-old man. The victim was a 17-year-old child. Mr. Brunning's comments are not only false, but they excuse criminal behavior and blame the victim. Just days ago, Mr. Brunning posted an image of a man talking to a woman with the caption, "How to ask if she has an STD," with the man asking, "You ever been with a black guy?" That is racist, period. On November 8th, and pardon the language on his post, he shared an image of Hitler, saying, "For fuck's sake, if I had chosen Muslims, I would have been a fucking legend." This isn't humor, it is hateful, and let's be clear, this is Todd being Todd. That phrase is used far too casually by this board as if it excuses anything. But Todd being Todd is not harmless. Todd being Todd is exactly what these comments reveal, a man who promotes racist rhetoric and defends sex crimes. That is who he is. Tonight, I'm asking each board member to not only condemn his comments and behavior, but to publicly ask him to resign. Your refusal to do so will tell us exactly who you are.
Any further public comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to board comments. Phil, do you want to respond to that? On First Amendment rights?
No, we're not going to respond.
Just ask the board, you guys can say yes or no, but regarding Mr. Berkey's comments, more or so deals with the community as a whole and things that are being offered at the community college. If we wanted to allow him to speak on that, if not, it's up to you guys. I just figured it was more community.
If you'd like to come in and get on a presentation, we can do that.
Gotcha. It's a lot to unpack there. One, happy Thanksgiving. Go blue. That's all I have to say about that. What Todd says on Facebook, he has every right to say. What you guys come up here and say, you have every right to say. I do believe that we have probably one of the most freest policies when it comes to public comment time. I think in your research, Al, all the other townships that we looked at had an expansive list of things people can and cannot do. Ours is very clear. It's very limited, and I am proud that we as a board came up with that. Free speech, you don't have to like it, but people have the right to say what they want. We can ask Todd to resign. Todd, are you going to resign?
Yeah, sure, that'll happen.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to work with Todd. He is a vote on this board, and we're going to continue to do the best that we can for our community. That's all I got.
Todd? Everybody have a good night, good weekend, happy Thanksgiving. You invisible group, you guys are so far behind. Channel 13 News already came out to my shop and did a story on my memes. There's nothing you can do about it. If you don't like it, stay off my Facebook page. I don't send it to your page. If you have a problem with it, don't get on it, because it's not going to stop. That's it.
Joe?
Congratulations to all of our young hunters out there and hunters. Opening day was Saturday. I hope you all had good. I hope there was some young hunters that got their first deer. I was fortunate enough on Saturday, so congratulations. Hope everybody had a nice, safe hunt and there was no incidences. I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Spend time with your family. Eat some food. Don't discuss politics. Myself, Phil, Troy knows that holidays and families and politics do not mix. Throw in a little alcohol, and our guys are busy, are they not? We know that. That happens nonstop. Just enjoy the time with your family. Let's go Lions. Let's go Blue. Let's see. Do I have anything else? Todd, you going to resign? I'll ask.
I'm torn, Joe. I don't know.
I asked.
This will be such a tough decision for me. Oh, my God. I don't know how I can do.
Nothing from me.
Krista?
Tax bills are printed and are being prepared to go out in the mail for December 1st. If you do not receive your bill, please contact my office and we can make sure we get you a copy. If you have a mortgage company, you will not receive a copy in the mail. We've not done that for many, many years. If you do want a copy, you can call my office and we can send you one, but we do not just automatically send them out. Everyone have a great Thanksgiving, be safe, and then have a great rest of your evening and a great weekend.
Judy?
So the special school election went smoothly. We had 22% of the voters participating in the election. That includes the 3,757 voters who voted by absentee. The final counts are on the county site. Putting them on the township site wouldn't help anyone because it would only be Bedford's numbers. If you go to Monroe County Clerk's Department, they have the total numbers of how it went, how the voters voted. Let's put it that way. Bedford Township was selected as one of over 80 locations, and we are always chosen to be audited. So I will be in the post-election audit. They will be coming here at 9 a.m. tomorrow, so the clerk's department will be closed during that time so that I can conduct the audit. Reminder that the next meeting is the week after Thanksgiving, so the information will need to go to the clerk's office by Monday, November 24th at 4 p.m. for anyone who has anything for that agenda. Information, I don't know if anyone noticed our front doors, how smooth the handicap side opens. When you pull it, it's not heavy anymore. I applied for an ADA grant. It was just under $10,000 and had both doors replaced. So all the mechanics are up to date. The doors are a lot smoother. They open better. They're not heavy when you go to pull them. If the one is starting to open or close, the other one isn't heavy to open it. So that was very nice. The Township Hall will be closed Thursday and Friday, November 27th and 28th for Thanksgiving, and I hope that everyone out there has a wonderful Thanksgiving.
In regards to the alliance, just a little history. That alliance started out with the Monroe County Chamber of Commerce, which we remember. Then that was rolled into Tim Lake's group, which then became the Monroe County Business Alliance. When we weren't going to do the 10,000 or whatever, they dropped that and said, no, we're not doing that program. That's when I renewed it for the 500. Okay, next time I'll bring that renewal to the board, as I will the BBA, which has not been brought up to the board a lot of times to be renewed. We just automatically have done that. So it is like $500 a year. We don't do economic development with them. So next year's renewal, I'll bring it to you. And then you guys don't want to belong to it, you don't have to. They are doing some good things in the community in terms of Monroe County overall, in terms of businesses and getting businesses engaged, getting businesses for the different retailers, different business owners. Matter of fact, I just went to a coffee club this morning in terms of where we had guest speakers on people and what they're doing in Monroe County. So I will be doing that next time. So maintenance building, we're in the final stages. We got a couple things to do, and then we're going to be good to go. I'd like to take everybody for a tour. So, and then we'll open it up to the public as well. They can come and see what their check from the federal government paid for through the ARPA funds. So that's happening. In terms of taking a look at the lighting panel for this building is original, and Krista can attest to this. We have issues with it, and I'm going to be looking to replace it. It probably won't be inexpensive, but lighting is very critical. It goes out sometimes in the middle of the night, the timer and so on. And I did get an email today in terms from Officer Hooper that it was out the other night. And I don't think we can stand for that of somebody maybe knocking on the sheriff's door or whatever, and we don't have the light. So we're going to work on that. So we'll be bringing that to you. Also, too, in terms of Mr. Berkey, if you want to get on as a presentation next meeting, we're happy to do that for you.
Next meeting I'll be in Grand Rapids, sir. That's December 2nd.
Right.
Meeting after that, sir?
That'll be fine. We will put you on there and you can explain a little bit more what they're trying to do. So you can bring some eggnog for us if you like. No. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. With just one closing remark, okay? We get a lot of negative hits of all the things that we don't do. And yeah, we're not perfect people. And yes, violations can occur. But nobody is having a violation where they're entering into different contracts and other ethical dilemmas and things of that nature. So I want to congratulate this board because over the last year, we've made some major improvements on things. And I think it's pretty good when we have a resident come up and talk about stop signs and the different things that we've done in the parks, the pickleball courts, and different things that are happening. So there's a lot of things that go on in terms of the folks in this building and getting things done that a lot of times we just take for granted. So I appreciate this board in terms of the things we've accomplished. So everybody have a good Thanksgiving. Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.